right, folks, we're using example 1 to determine the amount after 10 years if 100 is invested each month. All right, well, this is saying to use example 1. So we're supposed to take that literally. Everything is going to be the same except for how long it's being invested. In example 1, it was 12 months. In this example A, it's going to be a different amount, but we're still using the 1%. And we're still using 101 as the first term. And so we're going to get 101, 1.01 minus 1, 1.01 minus 1. All that's going to stay the same. The question is, how many months does 10 years equal? And the reason we need to use months is because the problem is compounding every month, right? It says $100 each month. And so that's why we need to do that. It depends on when the compounding is happening. All right, so that's the big question. So we take those 10 years, we convert them to months by multiplying times 12, and that gives us 120. So type that into your Desmos, and we'll keep going to the next problem. Tim invests 5,000 each year into the stock market. It averages an 8.7 annualized return. That means it's happening every year, right? So we're not talking about months now. We're not talking about days. We're talking about things that are happening each year. So that's the big key. How much of this would he have at the end of 10 years? What about 20 years? And so use our formula. It's going to be the same each of these times. 5,000, 8.7% annualized means years. So what about 10 years? Well, we need to take that 5,000 and we need to convert it into the first term, right? Because we are starting with 5,000, but it's not actually our A1, our first term. So for this formula, we've got to be a little bit clever. So we're going to multiply that by our interest rate. All right, that's going to give us a number. And then we're going to set up our formula. We're going to put, so go ahead and multiply 5,000 times 1.087 on Desmos, get your own answer. Keep going. 5435 is what we got. And 10 years because it's in years again. So super simple formula once you understand how to use it. And here it is again for the second part. And what's the only thing that's going to change in the second part? The fact that it's 20 years instead of 10 years, right? Great. So we'll keep going, get an answer in for that. And here we've got Laura. Laura invests $50 a month for 30 years, averaging a monthly return. That means everything needs to be in months, right? Of 0.81%. How much will she have at the end of those 30 years? 50 a month, 30 years, monthly, 0.81%. So that is, by the way, 1.0081. That's what our rate is going to be. Since it's 0.81%, we convert it to a decimal. That's 0.0081, and we always put 1 in front. So that's our rate. And then because it's monthly, we need to convert our 30 years into months, right? That gives us 360. And then we need to find our first term, and our first term is going to be that $50 times our rate. All right, what did you get for that? And then make sure you keep that full amount, right? Multiply it in Desmos, get an answer. Cool. Yeah, 50.405. Use the whole number until the very end of the problem. We only went around at the very, 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 very end. So we're going to multiply that using our formula, putting that rate in, our 360 as our exponent. And super simple. So write your answer in. That's really it. Cool.